Hey guys, welcome back to Ashley's Homestead Adventures. So I am in I'm in the throes of it today, and there's a little bit of extra noise in the background because they're actually working on my road behind my house. But I'm gonna flip you around and show you what we got going on this morning, and then I'll explain some of it too, for those who may or may not know, what my crazy ideas are and exactly what in the world is going on in my life and on my farm right now, because you just never know with me. So basically what you'll see here is on the way to the chicken coop, you'll see that the gate's not up, and I've got fences strung. And that fence runs all the way to that other pasture over there. There we go. So basically I opened up the gate and I strung a fence, just a temporary fence, all the way around to the other pasture. Oh, look at Hopsy enjoying his fresh clean pool. And went ahead and moved Miss Billie Jean over to this pasture. So she has got her, fresh clean water, minerals, and she's already had her creep feed for the day, and I don't even know where she's at. She's probably bedded down somewhere. She might be. So she's got this whole area, grass area here, and then all down into the woods down there. Oh yeah, she's over here in the corner. So it's a nice cool area for her to be, and for her to have plenty of shade in the heat of the summer. So she has all of these woods down in here. And what do you think, Miss Billie Jean? Don't get up on my account. Please don't get up. Ooh, garden snacks. That looks like a really good garden snack for right now. Yep. I'm getting distracted, but look at that beautiful eggplant. Need to harvest these. These are patio eggplants, so this is about as big as they get. Lots of jalapenos coming. The shishitos are starting to take off. Oh my goodness. Had so much rain. See the cracking? The cracking comes from the rain. Oh, this vine is everywhere. I'm getting distracted by the garden. Imagine that. Oh shoot, and I got her up. Looking for her. Nobody can have any peace around here with me working. The garden's calling my name. I can't help it. Okay, so we got Billie Jean moved, and now we're just setting up new pastures, and I'm actually really impressed with how this pasture coming up healed from being pretty strongly grazed. I would call it intense grazing. There's still some spots you can see where there's dirt, where you can tell that it was too intensely grazed. But I gotta tell you, I've had to string trim where the lines are gonna be because Billie Jean just didn't get it eaten down enough before the horses needed to bump over. And there is some seriously lush pasture out there. I'm really, really, really happy with how this grew back. So I've got one line up already. Goodness gracious, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, and I have water running. I'll turn that off real quick. So we've got one pasture already up and ready, and this is where Chance will go. And then Gracie is gonna bump over to here. Now the reason this happened, because generally, you know, if you were here yesterday, you would know that Chance was at the end of the line over behind the groom shop. And so it would make sense for everybody just to bump over one. Well, you can't do that with horses. They need a buddy. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump 2 horses over. Gracie's gonna go here and Chance will go here. And then we'll just, you know, we'll bump 2 basically on the other side. So, quick explanation as to what do I mean? Why am I bumping? Why am I building electric fences? We put electric fences up in between our horses and we put them out to pasture separately. So I like my horses to have the feeling of all going out to pasture in a great big pasture, but we have younger horses and older horses. We have, you know, Gracie, who has severe osteoarthritis, and then we have Chance, who's a bad boy who likes to pick on Gracie, and Gracie's a glutton for punishment. She adores Chance. So she hangs around and she kind of lets him pick on her, which is not good for her osteoarthritis because he'll just push her around. We've got Gracie, who absolutely despises my velvet. And Gracie's a big girl, and I'm not really sure that she couldn't beat the tar out of Little Velvet. Little Velvet's only about 750, 800 pounds. Now she's about 800 pounds. Gracie's a big mare. I don't even know how much she weighs, but she's upwards of 1,500 pounds. So, I like them to have the feeling of being out. Oh, that shade is wonderful. Being out together in pasture, but they're divided by hot wire to basically just keep them safe. The other reason of why I'm doing this is so that we can rotationally graze. We're rotationally grazing our property, trying to make it better. And I'm learning every season that I have new problems and I have new things that are coming up that I'm learning how to deal with. But it's rotationally grazing, and that is, I do believe that it is making our pastures better. But we're also reseeding and going through and pulling weeds and doing things like that, you know, is also making it better. I do have a serious mint problem, and short of pulling it all the time, I don't know what to do. Because I don't want to spray anything. I don't want to spray any chemicals on my property. So I don't know what to do about my mint problem. But the pastures are getting better. I do feel like they are getting better. And that is why we're rotationally grazing around our property, so that we are not using up our property too hard. Horses are really, really hard on ground. And so therefore, this is a way for us to have 5 horses and a cow and rotate the pastures so that we're not beating up our pastures and decimating them. So you can see a little bit behind me what's going on. There's a lot of big equipment, rollers, graders, water trucks happening on my road back there, which I'm not complaining about at all because we're getting a new road. So that's great. But what I am gonna do is, now that the water's and I've got all of the blankets and everything moved already, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the kids out so they can have most of the day outside, and then I'll come back and we'll continue making lines. Okay, so we've got Velvet, Josie, and Maggie rolling on this side. She's really having a good time. Oh, fail. There you go. And Miss Grace here. And Mr. Chance here. What do you think about all that grass, Mr. Chance? It's a lot of grass, huh, buddy? Yeah. That's a lot of grass. Yeah? Yum, huh? So you can see what I've done here. I've just string trimmed a line all the way down so that the hot wire isn't touching anything. You don't want anything to be on your hot wire that will ground it out. You know, a blade of grass, a piece of wood, a branch, you know, anything touching it besides, you know, plastic insulators is going to weaken the strength of it. So I'm going to run another line here. I'm going to go ahead and string trim another line and run another line with what's left in my wheelbarrow here. And that will give me another move day. And I do need to, out there amongst all that mint is a fire pit. And so I'll need to fence that off so that, you know, somebody stupid, not saying any names, doesn't take off running sillily and fall into the fire pit. So I will need to do that before I put anybody in here. But for now, we're just going to focus on string trimming and getting another line up. Little man has blessed us with his presence again today, and this is what he has done all day long, is sleep. So he must have had a good night out last night. And he came here for breakfast and a restful day. The wheelbarrow is getting more empty, and we have another line up and a line around the fire pit. I'm gonna go ahead and string trim one more row, and it will probably be, let's see here. Yeah, I think it'll be here. I'll run on this side of that tree and run pretty much to that tree right in front of my finger. That's actually on the neighbor's property, but I'll run to that area, and that will be the next paddock width. You guys haven't heard me complain about it in a while, but it's hot out here, and I am sweaty and dirty with stuff that flings up when I'm string trimming, and ugh. But if I do my next line here, then that will put my next paddock, that I can put it about where that white post is, and I can split the chicken coop in half, so to speak. So I can make one paddock that's on that side of the chicken coop where they can get around on the alleyway that goes in between this permanent fence and the chicken coop, which you can tell there's a trail there. They're used to using it. And then the other side can go on this side of the chicken coop. And so that works out in my rotational grazing. Little man moved. He is now laying on the side of the driveway. He didn't move very far. Moved about, I don't know, 15 feet. But he is still pretty much passed out. Sleeping. So for those of you who do not know, he is, he's kind of like the community dog. I do know his owners. I have her number, and we do talk. If he doesn't show up home, she asks if he's here, and we share cute pictures back and forth. But he's a community dog, and he just kind of bounces around and goes to whatever farm he wants to. He spends an awful lot of time here. He usually spends about 3 days a week here. But, you know, like last week, I didn't hardly see him at all. I think I saw him one day last week. And so, and it's It's middle of the week this week, and this is the first day that he's come and hung out with me. So it doesn't bother the chickens, and he fits in really well here. So we actually quite enjoy him coming. And he does have a name. His name is Boone, but we don't use it. We call him Little Man, and that is his nickname here on our farm, and he comes and goes as he pleases. Today he is not much for entertainment. A lot of times he is really, really funny. He's a character. Well, hello. I don't think I'm okay with you being that close to me. No. Wow. I've gotten pretty good about not freaking out when bugs are on me, and that was a pretty cool spider, but ugh. Anywho, that is the explanation of Little Man, and he's kind of boring today because he must be tired from whatever escapades he was doing, but he's quite the joy to have around most times, and him and Hopsy play pretty hard. But we are also in the heat of the day today, and today is warm. It's warmer than we have felt in a while, we'll say that. It's not it's not blazing hot, but it feels hot because we haven't had hot in a while. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to work. I keep talking to you guys because it's much funner to talk to you than it is to work. Well, I got that rigged up for the next run, and the last two remaining posts that I had in my cart out, my wheelbarrow, I call it my cart, it's my electric fence cart. Mr. Wonderful tells me all the time I have nicknames for everything, so I know it's a wheelbarrow, but I call it a cart because it acts like a cart. Anyway, I got that done. Now I'm gonna go over and what I showed you at the beginning of the video, the temporary fence that I put up to get Billie Jean from one pasture to another. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna pick that up. And then we've got to go down to the other side, and there's some runs down there that are not being used anymore that I can pick up down there. And while we're down there, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take some lime, and I'm gonna go ahead and lime down there. So chop chop. He moved again. Not very far, but he moved again. Shorty. Little Man. Nope, this time he's out. Chance and Grace are behaving themselves in their new pasture. They're the only two horses over here, so that's why I kind of wanted to get everybody out while I was going to be around doing fences and stuff, so I could kind of see if they were going to be all right with just the two of them being over here, and they are. This is the pair that even Mr. Wonderful, and he has been taking, before they came here last fall, Mr. Wonderful took care of them for the 1.5 years that I was absent in Oregon, that I moved here. And so anyway, he knows these guys inside and out, and so he's like, keep Chance and Gracie together and you'll be fine. Anything else doesn't matter. Chance and Gracie gotta be together. So they are doing fine. They have been talking a little bit back and forth. Maggie has been talking from the other side to Gracie, and Gracie talks back, but they go right back to eating, so we're good. All right, got that gate closed back up, and now we're just gonna pick up these lines here that run all the way around to Billie Jean, just like that. All done. So I'm back here behind the barn, behind the groom shop. We call this the bottom pasture. And this is where I had my calves last summer. And I was throwing great big baby-sized squash over the fence. Those of you who are gardeners know what a baby-sized squash is. You go out there one day and you think, oh, it's not big enough to pick. The next time you go out there and it's the size of a baby and it's not edible. Well, I had a lot of those last year. So check this out. There's 1, 2, 3 squash plants out here. Now I don't know how long they'll survive, So far, I have not gotten a single squash off of any of my volunteers. That one's trying to grow babies. You can see right there. Oh, this one has actually got one going. Check that out. That is a, can't think of it. I want to say that's called a gray stripe zucchini. But, anywho, and look at that. It's growing right out of a pile of... So, nature's amazing. It truly is things like this that just give me so much inspiration as a gardener. Now I know that my garden isn't everything that I wanted it to be this year, but is it really ever? I mean, do we ever really have like the perfect gardening year? That's the joy of gardening, is that we get to do it again next year. And things like this just inspire me so much. I mean, this has popped up, I don't know when. I mean, and I'm out here with the horses almost every day. I mean, I know that it's been, well, let's just say if the horses are in each pen for 2 days apiece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 days ago, I should have seen this. There should have been a horse in here 10 days ago, and I didn't see it. So anyway, this is very inspiring to me. I'll let this grow, and hopefully the squash bugs won't find it. The vine borers are finding all of my volunteers. I keep leaving them. I don't know if you noticed. I mowed around one in the front yard on the other video the other day, where I showed that I had mowed. There's a little tiny squash plant in my yard that just popped up out of nowhere, and I left it. There's a couple behind the chicken coop that I've left, and so far the vine borers find them and kill them before I get anything off of them. But I will have to keep an eye on that cute little zucchini. But for now, here we are out here in the bottom pasture, and I have a wheelbarrow. My cart has lime and seed in it. So the neighbor actually texted me the other day, told me she locked her chickens up. So I am actually going to lime and seed, because we've been having these pop-up thunderstorms that are not forecasted. And so potentially we could get some water on this pasture after I seed it. So I only have like 1/3 of a bucket of seed, so I'm not gonna go, you know, like Willy Wonka on it, but I'm gonna throw some seed out. So here's the lime that I buy, and then this is our orchard grass seed, and it's actually coated in lime as well. But our pastures are extremely depleted of lime, so I was able to afford to get a bag, and I'm just kind of doing the best I can here and there, putting lime on our pastures. But hopefully this fall, when Mr. Wonderful gets home, we're gonna go and get a whole trailer load. That's the plan, is because we really need it in bulk. But he's not really wanting me to have to worry about spreading and doing all of that. So, you know, working with heavy machinery other than my cute little tractor that I run, he's like, I can just do it this fall, and in talking to everybody, fall's the best time to do it anyway. So he took on that task, and I'm okay with it. But I'm gonna spread some lime, you know, just here and there as I can. You doing all right, Bee? I'm done. I'm going up. I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, you guys. We are all done down here. Got it all lined and seeded. Limed and seeded. I'm hot. And all the stakes are picked up in our cart, and we're gonna make our way back up to the barn now. Check out our road. Oh, all of a sudden, well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, mister. How are you? Huh? Hey, buddy. Did you get up from your nap? Huh? Mr. Chance has all of a sudden decided that he doesn't like being over here with just Gracie. He's being a crybaby. All right, before I put my string trimmer away, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up the groom shop area. It's looking just a little bit shabby. So since I have this string trimmer out, I'm just gonna go ahead and tidy it up real quick. Okay, that is mucho better. Got everything looking edged around here. And that's good. I just wanted to do that before I put the string trimmer up. Just use the rest of the battery. And with that, you guys, sometimes, you know, these videos just kind of turn out to be maintenance, and that is what it is on a farm. And you guys know me. I'm going to show you my real life, a day in the life of who I am. So I'm going to go in and cool off. As you can see, I am hot and sweaty, in need of a shower, get cleaned up from string trimming, and start all over again once I get rehydrated and re-cooled off. I hope you guys are staying cool, and I hope you're doing well. I will catch you on the next one. Yours truly.